Everybody knows that you're a very attractive woman. But tell us, what would surprise people about Jessica Alba?
I'm a man.
Well, the tolerance police have a lot of power here in America, in case you haven't noticed, but they're even stronger in Canada. Just yesterday, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau delivered an official apology to gay and transgender Canadians for past state discrimination against them. But now teachers in Durham, Ontario had to attend an inclusiveness training course for the deep breath here, LGGBDTTTIQQAAPP community, which is apparently a community. That 15-letter acronym intended to encompass all sexual minorities. It may soon be required at schools.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
Don't worry, they don't bite.
Watch out.
Hey.
Hello.
This is Ian. Ian, this is my crew from the LGBTQIA Center.
Hey.
Hey,
How are you?
Are you gonna introduce yourselves, or do I have to do it for you?
I'm Bethany. I'm a triracial cisgendered girl fag. I identify as pansexual and my pronoun is she.
Okay. Hi, Emerson. Gender fluid, hetero-romantic, demisexual mutt, and a redhead. My pronoun is Z.
Hey, I'm Rabbit, genderqueer, tax attorney. I identify as Jennifer Aniston. Just kidding. Vember.
DX. Chinese Mexican agender intersex AFAB. My pronoun is they.
Okay. All right, is it okay if I ask a few questions?
Better than to assume you know the answers.
What is intersex?
When a person is born with what is typically perceived as both male and female sex organs.
AFAB?
Assigned female at birth. When your parents decide your gender without considering how you may identify in the future.
Okay, and what's the whole, pronoun thing?
When we talk about DX, we say, ask them if they would like a coffee.
But there's only one of him. Her, them. Fuck, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. Is everything in place?
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave.
We are their cattle. We are being bred for slavery.
I just thought, you were a guy.
Most guys do.
Kathleen Turner became a household name in the 80s with that gravelly voice.
Tell me about the money, Charlie.
Oh, you see, I take these glasses off. She looks like a regular person, doesn't she, huh? Put them back on, formaldehyde face.
Old Man River, that old man river.
You know, you look like your head fell on the cheese dip back in 1957.
Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch.
I need another story, something to get off my chest. My life is kinda boring, need something that I can confess. Till on my sleeves I stain red from all the truth that I've said.
Joy Stuff, welcome back to my home. I want to revisit a video I did a while ago called Voice Training 101 for Trans Women, I believe was the title. I might be off by a word or two. Voice training can be very important to trans women. Eventually, you'll have to force yourself to go back to your other voice. So it's not something that you're going to have to constantly be thinking of. At first, maybe, and most likely you will. But as time goes on, it will become totally natural for you to speak in your new voice, right? It's not like it's a fake voice, it's just your voice, especially after a lot of practice and a lot of time. So if I try to go back down to where I started, it takes some time. I like to go in a scale and just keep on lowering it until I get there. I think this is about where I would have been, and it still doesn't, I don't know how accurate this is to my old stuff. I'll put a clip in here of one of my more popular older videos to see if it's like accurate or not. I don't know, but that way you can see where I was before. I've been reading your comments and things as you post them, and I really like to hear from you and hear, you know, what you like and what you don't like about pretty much everything. And even in that clip, I was kind of trying to be a little bit more excitable, which would bring my voice up a couple octaves or whatever you want to say. I don't know how to read music or read notes, but that's just my idea of what's going on.
A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
You're not human. Yes, you have a human body, but your consciousness is alien.
What's your problem?
Yo, I'm a paparazzi. I don't play no Yahtzee. I go pop, 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 pop. My camera's up your crotch.
The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
That voice immortalized Jessica Rabbit, the animated sex pot, which Turner did when she was 9 months pregnant.
The day my water broke, I was recording Jessica Rabbit.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
Stop. Let me out. Let me out. I want. Look at them. They're everywhere. Now hold on. You ain't the first son of a bitch to wake up out of their dream.
Lucky I'm here to wake you up.
And who are you?
No idea. Most of my memories were wiped when I was tortured by the CIA and turned into a killing machine.
Most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
I was.
Look again. Who is it?
Modeling is a tough job. There are many barriers to break down and hoops to jump through to make it to the top. But these transgender models are claiming their space in the fashion industry. There's no glass ceiling too tough for these models to bash. Angela Ponce. Miss Universe lifted its ban on transgender women joining the competition back in 2012, but no openly transgender woman has ever qualified for Miss Universe until this year. Angela Ponce beat out 22 women for the title of Miss Universe Spain in July 2018. She is set to represent her country in the 2018 Miss Universe pageant in December. This native of Seville is no stranger to pageants. She made waves and represented Cadiz during the 2015 Miss World Spain competition, but she lost out to Miss Barcelona Mireia La Laguna Arroyo. But Angela Ponce didn't let this crush her dreams. Her IG caption reads, "My goal to be a spokesperson for a message of inclusion, respect, and diversity, not only for the LGBTQ+ community, but for the whole world."
Maybe they've always been with us. Those things out there. Maybe they love it.
Turner dishes about other on-screen lovers. In Pritzi's honor, her legendary co-star had trouble with the love scenes.
Tell me about Jack Nicholson.
I called it Who's on Top.
You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
I've got one that can see.
We could be pets. We could be food. But all we really are is livestock.
tranny. I'm a man. Need to know.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
And he was a $10,000 or $15,000 stud, which means that in order to breed to him, you pay $10,000.
Right. There are fields, endless fields, where human beings are no longer born. We are grown.
So neither of us know who we truly are. We are the same.
There was a little contest.
I think who could get me first.
Who could bed you first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His first crop, he had a Derby winner named Funnyside, who won the 2003 Kentucky Derby. Wow. And so his stud fee went from $10,000 to $15,000 all the way up to $300,000.
It was like sport.
Well, yes, but you see, I was the new trophy in town.
But you didn't want to be the trophy.
I don't think so. No, that was never going to happen.
There are no limits.
It figures it would be something like this.
Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You are a plague, and we are the cure.
The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite. You have given us entree to the resources we need in our ongoing quest for multidimensional expansion.
You still don't get it, do you, boys? There ain't no countries anymore. No more good guys. They're running the whole show. They own everything, the whole goddamn planet. They can do whatever they want.
He's a tall, Caucasian male, doesn't appear armed, wearing sunglasses.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Welcome to the real world.
Lena Bloom. Victoria's Secret is not the most inclusive brand in the world. The fact that they call their models angels mean they have unattainable standards about them. But this model is undeterred by such limits. Lena Bloom is an Afro-Filipina transgender model who believes that Victoria's Secret needs to diversify their heavenly roster. Bloom broke barriers back in 2017 by being the first openly transgender woman of color to appear in Vogue India. She's walked the runway in New York Fashion Week that same year for the label Chroma. Bloom started out with a passion for dance, finding a safe space as a trans woman in the underground ballroom scene of Harlem. She aims to make the modeling industry a space that welcomes all and treats all fairly. She says, "We all have unique stories, we are just different, and we have every right to be."
What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
The leaders of this world and their families, they're androgynes, okay? Essentially, as close as they can get. They're trannies, all right? They're transhumanist trannies, transgendered, transsexual, transvestite, whatever word you want to use, man. They're all trying to get androgynous. That's their Garden of Eden. That's their goal. That's their kingdom, okay? That's their holy city. Is an androgynous holy city where everybody's a god. All the power centers of society, from education to the business world, to the government, to mass media, they're all run by people who believe this stuff. And they are practicing this. That's why their children are trannies, their wives are trannies. The men, a lot of the men, I don't know if all of them are or not, but I think a lot of them are trannies as well, okay? They're practicing this. This is their religion. This is the most important aspect of their religion, and very few people are talking about it or even aware of this. It's happened right under our noses, man. They're hiding in plain sight, right in your living room. They're on the TV in your living room. The androgynous Gnostics are in your house, and they get there through the television. The image of the beast, all right? It's the image of the beast. And they're talking on the television. He's a man, spelled M, a child, and a real manly man. He's a man. He's a man. He's a Freemason man. He's a man. He's a trans man. He's a trans. He's an androgynous Gnostic. He's a trans. Not sure if he's a man.
để giáp hơi thu uốn dễ na lơ lơ dòng quê về đuôi sky zoo and dream that you dreamed of, dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star, it wake up with a cloud to fall behind me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. bluebirds fly, birds fly, oh, birds of rainbow, why did I come die? Someday I'll wish upon a star, it wake up with the clouds of fall behind me. Oh, oh, trouble me like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where the rainbow, why did I can die? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, I can't.
File item 25, AB 2119.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to express my appreciation to my colleagues and to the chair for this deference. I do have a witness who needs to catch a flight back to San Diego, so I appreciate your indulgence, Madam Chair. Thank you so much for allowing me to present AB 2119, an important bill that ensures transgender and gender nonconforming youth in foster care have access to appropriate health care and behavioral health care services. Many of you know that these children are overrepresented in California's foster care system, and unfortunately bias and misinformation often creates substantial barriers to these children receiving the medically necessary care that they need. Current law requires child welfare agencies to provide for all health needs of all young people in foster care and make sure that they receive appropriate and timely care by professionals. AB 2119 requires child welfare agencies to provide that same access to clinicians who provide gender-affirming treatment consistent with established levels of care. Madam Chair, I know you're pressed for time, and I would like to give the rest of my time to my witnesses. So if I may, I'd like to start with Alex Chen, who is with the National Center for Lesbian Rights, and Priscilla Vidal, who is a human rights activist and former foster care youth.
Very good. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 people. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Priscilla. I was placed in foster care as a teenager from 1996 to 2002. While in the foster care system, I lived in 12 different placements in 6 years, both foster homes and in group homes. I have always identified as a woman, yet none of my placements affirm my gender identity. In one foster home, my Catholic family housed me in the garage, while other foster children, including some of my siblings, were given rooms in the home. None of my caregivers or social workers acknowledge my gender identity or use female pronouns. They insisted on calling me by the name on my records. Despite these conditions, I transitioned at 16 and began wearing girls' clothes to school. I faced rejection at school as well, where I had to fight to attend the prom as an openly transgender person. I was labeled as mentally ill and acting out, and then required to see a psychiatrist who never asked me what I needed and wanted. At that time, there were no transition-related services available to foster youth. Without access to services, I learned to obtain hormones from my friends. Sometimes I had to run away to Tijuana to get street hormones. The feeling that I had at that point led me to attempt suicide, take drugs, and engage in sex work. At some point, I contracted HIV. However, I only learned this after I left foster care. I was never tested while I was in the system. Throughout this ordeal, the one bright spot in my life was my CASA volunteer who accepted and cared about me. Because of my experiences, I now serve as a peer specialist at a foster care agency and speak on panels as part of new social worker trainings. I did not receive the accurate or proper health care as a trans person in the system. I believe that this bill takes us a step closer in making sure that every trans person receives the medical and mental health they need to better themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Vern. Go ahead.
You need it. My name is Renee Jacks. I'm a male to female post-operative transsexual. I've lived over 40 years of my life in this role, and I'm also author of 3 books. The one I'm researching right now on gender is on rapid onset of gender dysphoria in adolescents. Let me say I absolutely am against 2119. While I wholeheartedly believe that it's your intent to protect gender dysphoric children with this legislation, that neither science nor medicine yet fully understands the root cause of gender confusion, nor has there been enough research into the effects of puberty blockers and surgeries on gender dysphoric children to understand or forewarn us of any short and long-term consequences that this prospective legislation will cause.
I think I can see your beard. I see.
You can see my beard? Oh no!
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Miko.
Miko? I'm Isabella. What's your name?
Kristen.
Kristen? Nice to meet you. I'm Isabella. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Are you nervous?
Yes.
How come? Do I look scary? Do you know what I am? No? I'm a drag queen. Have you ever heard of a drag queen before? No? Everybody should try drag at least once. It's really fun.
Even kids?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few kids that are starting to do drag.
Do dogs do drag?
Do dogs do drag? I mean, they can. You can dress a dog up in a dress and take them on stage with you.
So, why did you want to get to be a drag queen?
Why did I want to be a drag queen?
Or what's your inspiration?
Great questions.
Welcome to Queer Kid Stuff. I'm Lindsay, and this is my best friend Teddy. Today, we're talking about the T in LGBT. Or somewhere in between, we all are part of one big family. Gaming's happy. Queer Kid Stuff. You are enough here at Queer Kid Stuff. Welcome to the final part of our 4-part series breaking down the letters in LGBT. You ready, Teddy?
Ready.
Okay. Today we are talking about the 4th letter, T. T stands for trans or transgender. There's something a bit weird about how doctors assign gender to babies. That's because there aren't only boys and girls. And because not all people identify with their assigned gender.
Oh, so the doctors are wrong sometimes?
Yes, Teddy. Sometimes doctors don't assign the right genders. When a person does not identify with the gender they're assigned when they're born, they are trans or transgender. People who are trans can be boys or girls or people too.
And I can always ask someone their pronoun, just like you taught me.
That's right, Teddy. There's also another word you should know. It's the word cisgender. Someone who is cisgender does identify with the gender they're assigned.
Okay, so since you are assigned girl and you use she, then you are cisgender.
That is exactly right, Teddy.
What is the essence of what you want the world to know about Stephanie?
That I'm really a man. That
Stephanie.
I'm really a man.
Stephanie.
That I'm really a man. That she loves to cook.
About is suffering for your love of music. And I remember that I don't think I got panties on here.
Well, in life,
In life, what stresses me out?
people being late,
Well, I'm always late. Also,
mushrooms.
I have to paint my entire face on and tuck my penis, so it takes a while.
Yeah, exactly. By the way,
She is every inch the Hollywood fantasy version of perfection.
Yeah, it's true.
A Barbie come to life with platinum hair and 6-inch stilettos.
I love it. It's very Versace. You love?
But this voluptuous, gorgeous woman, aptly named Gigi Gorgeous, started life as a Canadian boy named Gregory.
Ever since I was young, I knew I was different. I knew I felt like a girl.
Hi guys, it's Gigi.
Her honest and outrageous YouTube videos have made her a star in the internet age.
It definitely makes your lips look full and glossy.
At first, as a gay teenager, sharing his love of makeup.
So this look is super easy.
And talking about his dates with boys.
So yeah, from there the weirdness escalated and the date got even worse.
And then struggling in real time as thousands of fans watched with the idea that she was in fact transgender.
This video is kind of me just telling you guys that I want to be female.
Here's a model who broke new ground, Andrea Pejic, who started as a male and became the most successful androgynous runway model ever.
Oh yeah, working for names like Marc Jacobs, Jean-Paul Gaultier, big names.
Yeah, and now Andrea has completed her transgender transformation, and she's telling us her story for the first time.
You know, one of my earliest memories was spinning around in my mom's skirt trying to be a ballerina.
We first met Andrea 3 years ago, and back then with her long blonde hair, she was Andre, a male model. And wow, does she have a remarkable past. She was a Bosnia War refugee who immigrated to Australia, was discovered at McDonald's at the age of 17 and turned into a designer favorite, but back then it was often menswear the androgynous model was strutting. Now, the fashion industry has fully embraced her as a transgender model in women's wear. She's breaking into acting, and she's also been a judge on Norway's Top Model.
Hello, girl.
Last year, she starred in a David Bowie music video with Tilda Swinton, who's also no stranger to breaking gender boundaries.
Listen, I need you to get something in. Estrogen pills or patches?
And she's finding inspiration from Laverne Cox, who's the first trans Emmy nominee.
For many years, because I'm black and because I'm trans, I was told that I wouldn't be able to have a career as an actress, a mainstream career as an actress. And this nomination is like, it kind of gives me hope.
I think Laverne Cox is doing amazing work. I think she's very poised and I think she has a lot of amazing things to say.
Trans acceptance in media has come a long way since the first transgender actress, Alexandra Billings, appeared on television in 2003. Then Candace Cain appeared on Nip Tuck in 2006 and a series regular in Dirty Sexy Money in 2009.
What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are.